If you've ever said to yourself, I feel like I've tried everything, but the scale still isn't moving, or your energy is still running on empty, and you still don't like what you see in the mirror. If you're buying larger clothes year after year, this video is for you. Because most of the women that I work with are over 40, with kids at home or recently out of the house, like mine. And while your family and work still need your attention, your body is also entering a major transition. Perimenopause. Ugh. Just the sound of it is not fun to think about. But in this change of life, you aren't unmotivated, you're just tired. And maybe you tried counting calories and you tried cutting things out. Maybe you've tried being good on your own again and again. Maybe you've tried a program like Weight Watchers, or you've tried a GLP-1 and you've lost some muscle and you don't know how to get it back. And when you didn't see results, or the results you did see didn't last, you might have blamed yourself instead of blaming the plan that didn't work. But here's the truth. Willpower alone isn't enough to make lasting change. Motivation always runs out, and not because you're weak, but because life keeps happening. The family needs you. Stress just shows up. Decision after decision piles up until you're exhausted. And that's why most likely all of these things you've tried just didn't work. Because research on willpower actually supports this. Psychologist and author Roy Baumeister, who has studied self-control for decades, explains that willpower is a finite resource. The more decisions, stress, and emotional labor you carry, the faster it gets depleted. So for women in midlife, especially those managing family, work, and hormonal changes, this depletion happens even faster. It's not a character issue, it's a capacity issue. This is exactly what James Clear talks about too in the book Atomic Habits when he says, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. A goal without a system is just a destination with no direction. A system is the GPS. It tells you where to turn and it reroutes you when life happens and keeps you moving, even when you're tired. That's why this isn't about trying harder. It's about finally having a map. Think about it like this. You can have the best intentions in the world, but if you're wandering without a map, you're still going to end up lost. Effort without direction feels like just trying harder. Direction with support feels like following a GPS. I've worked with countless women who track every calorie, read all the right information, and they still get stuck. Not because they aren't disciplined, and not because they aren't doing the right things. It's because they didn't have the right process, system, accountability, and community. Essentially, their roadmap to their desired destination. And that's where the process changes everything. When there's a process, simple, repeatable, and supported, we're not making 100 decisions a day. We're just following the next step or taking the next turn. And that's what people miss when they hear the word process. It's not rigid or extreme. It provides clarity. It makes you confident. So if you're tired of starting over, stop telling yourself you need to try harder. You don't. You need the right process. You need structure. You need accountability. You need support that holds you steady when motivation fades. You don't need more discipline. You need a better system. And that doesn't mean you failed before. It just means you finally know what was missing.
By the time I met Jolene, my kids were both, my youngest just got married. And so I was like, okay, I need to focus on me. I've lost almost 50 pounds with Jolene. But like 16 of that was in this challenge. So that was pretty awesome. What was really helpful in this competition is just the other women. And, a lot of what we do with Jolene is one-on-one, but then also we have these weekly meetings and things with other women. And there's a chat that you talk to the women daily. We're helping each other, like not only with our wins, but with our failures and giving each other advice. And then when they're doing good, like it pushes you to do good. Like there wasn't really a lot of room for slacking because nobody else was slacking, and we're going through these holidays and I'm like, maybe I'll have a cheat day, but nobody else was having a cheat day. So I didn't have a cheat day, So there was a couple of times I remember at Christmas, my daughter and I were talking about whether or not I was going to just like not count the day, like we had a whole bunch of good food and all these things that I wanted to try. And I'm like, maybe I just won't count today. And then the other ladies that were in at that time, like it was so close. And I told her, if I was to eat this cookie right now, it would literally cost me $400. Like, and I won, so it would have cost me $400 to eat that cookie. The community of women that do these challenges, they're all very inspirational. They're encouraging. You can just sign up for a challenge. It's like a cheap trial to like check out all that Jillian has to offer and all that the group of people has to offer. There's so many things that we spend money on that are not good for us. So it's a great opportunity just to get going and do something good for yourself.
Where would you be a year from now if you had a system instead of relying on willpower? And what if the thing you've been missing was never more discipline, just the right support? I'm Jolene Fisher. Find me on Instagram at No Bad Days Health Coaching and YouTube at No Bad Days Health and Wellness. And message me if this has been helpful for you. Also, share this with a friend who you think might benefit from this video.